the second button. There is no second best.
Good morning, Crypto Chaos. Good morning, good morning. Here we go again. Tired of the same stuff, guys. Tired of winning. How you guys doing this morning? Good morning. Easy in the house. Passing out coffee. We got G-Dog this morning. More coffee, more chaos. Jake the Snake, salutations, chaos. Good morning to you, Jake. You're up a little early. How you doing this morning, Jake the Snake? Guten Morgen, Guten Hagen, Chaos Crew, a gay guy in the house. Yes, Easy here having, just sent some profits on my long position. Great morning. Sent. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, sent. We do have a couple of coins over on the Patreon. They're about ready to pop off, guys. They are cooking. If your guys are over there getting our plays. Good morning, buds. How's it going? Funny colors in the house. How's it going? I had to pee back to bed now, says Jake the Snake. I had a feeling that's what was going on. We'll catch you later, King. We'll catch you later. Good morning, everyone who is going to be, of course, here for this live stream. 68,969K, just barely holding on this morning at the very bottom of our channel. Look how nice and clean that bounce has been so far. A little bit of a dumperoni. Yes, a little bit of a dumperoni. Yes, let's get up the house, Hippo.
They call them dump. Big, massive dump.
Yeah, big, massive dump on Bitcoin. About 5% down on this morning move. Let's see if we can stop the pain. Again, last night we called for baseline bear. What do we got this morning? Baseline bear, right down the center of my prediction. So tired of winning, guys. Waking up to the same shit every day. Oh, Jesus. Thanks, Bill. All right, yeah. So here we go, guys. Here we go. There was a couple things that were really interesting this morning from Doomberg. Of course, more Doom. I do like the Doom. U.S. payrolls unexpectedly fell by 92,000 in February. Unemployment rate rises to 4.4%. Yikes. Not looking great this morning. And we have a couple mentions here. We did have Rick Rader, and we had this mention
thanks for
as
coming
well.
on to the desk. What are you seeing here that doesn't make sense? Because obviously you'd see the yield sell off, but I would expect futures to rise as equity investors price in rate cuts.
I think the confusion about what's going on and how long this is going to last in the Gulf, Persian Gulf, and how long energy prices are still going up has got people worried about what's going to happen next. They just don't have an off-ramp at this point, and they know we're bad this morning. And you can see the reaction in the markets when those came across. 92,000 jobs lost. And one of the interesting things here is the only category that's been hiring lately is healthcare, and healthcare had almost no jobs during the month, and physician services lost 37,000 jobs, and that was because of a strike at Kaiser, 31,000 people. But if we can't withstand one strike like that in the labor market, you got a problem. And we see that the unemployment rate went up to 4.4%. Labor force change was only 18,000 people. People thought that maybe there would be a weather effect, but only 228,000 people, not an unusual number, were unable to work because of weather. So this is just really showing us weakness in the labor market. Now, the retail sales numbers that came out, they're a month delayed because of the shutdown. These were January numbers, but they weren't good either. Retail sales basically down 0.2 on a headline basis, driven down by a 0.9 drop in auto sales, all those cars under snow on the lots. Nobody went out to look. But the retail control number just up 0.3%. And across the board in retail sales, it was a fairly weak number. So this, Matt, I would say basically is a catch-up alert day at the White House.
Yes, we also had Rick Reeder in this morning as well. BlackRock, of course.
What do you make of the U.S. economy now looking at 4.4% unemployment?
So it's interesting the way you phrased it. And thanks, Matt, for having me on. So I think U.S. economy is doing fine. I actually think U.S. economy, I was just looking at the numbers before coming down here, I think we're going to grow 2.5 to 3% first quarter growth. The economy and employment are quite different conditions today. We have a productivity revolution. We talk about it people were encouraged last month. You had 137,000 jobs last month, but 130,000 were in healthcare. You strip out healthcare, we have no hiring. So I looked at the next 9 months. If you strip out healthcare, the last 9 months, total jobs in the country is negative 358,000. Negative 358,000. Stripping out healthcare. We're going to keep hiring healthcare workers, even though today this number was a little bit softer. Again, last month was really strong. We're going to still hire healthcare workers because the population's aging. We looked at a metric, people 65 and above. We haven't even kept up with that rate of growth. A friend of mine was showing me that. So we're going to keep hiring healthcare. The problem is we're not hiring other people because there's productivity going on. And it's not AI hasn't really kicked in yet, but productivity. I mean, you see this. I read tons of earnings reports. You look at what companies are doing. Run your business more efficiently, keep your top line in a reasonable position, and get your cost infrastructure down. So point being, I think, by the way, economy's fine, and then, but it's for the people dynamic is harder, and it's part of why I believe you need to have more policy to help impact that.
It's interesting.
All right. So people are fine. Yes, the economy's fine. It looks like he's just mentioning the way he describes it is like only the first quarter is going to be bad, guys. Just chill out. Just chill out. Geez, of course, it's got a Rick Rader. But yeah, the U.S. payrolls unexpectedly fell to 92,000 in February. Unemployment rate now is sitting at 4.4% this morning. U.S. economy lost jobs in February, month marred by severe winter weather and a strike in the major healthcare provider. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported on Friday non-farm payrolls fell to 93,000 of the month, compared to the estimate for 50,000 and below the downwardly revised January total of 126,000. February marked the third time in the past 5 months that payrolls declined, following a sharp revision showing a drop of 17,000 in December. And guys, obviously we're getting these headlines, all these companies laying off, massive layoffs still happening this year from last year's massive layoffs related to AI, the AI, of course, sector. At the same time, the unemployment rate edged higher at 4.4% as jobs decline across these areas. A broader measure of unemployment that includes discouraged workers that are holding part-time positions for economic reasons moved lower, 7.29%, or 0.2 percentage point below the January level. Don't have too much time to get more into this, but yeah, it's not good, guys. Not good. We do have more and more doom. I can actually show you that here on YouTube. Because I do keep an eye on the overall sentiment of the market via the normies, what they're putting up on YouTube. We do have, I do have this. I did watch this last night. I can share a little bit of what I saw on this. Cost of living in America is making everyone leave. People are leaving, guys, in droves to other countries that are more affordable. This is usually what you do in your retirement, not in the middle of your lifetime, right? Not until you're like 50, 60, 70, not 20, 30s.
Crisis around the world. I just feel like the one right now in the United States is just undoable for young people. What do you think about this? What is your cost of living like?
I think you're right. This guy said his cost of living was an average of $4,500 a month. Mine's not that high, but it's too damn high. I'll tell you that. Too damn high. All right, guys, let's get back to Doomburgers. They're about ready to open the bell here any minute now. All right. But I am feeling some kind of way about our economy. It's all BS. It's all BS. And of course, they know. Of course, they know. Take it away while we're waiting for the bell. Take it away.
The U.S. federal government's on an unsustainable fiscal path, and that just means that the debt is growing faster than the economy. We're borrowing from future generations.
That's right. We're borrowing from the future generations. He said this, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times? I think it's been like 4 or 5 times since I've been watching PAL 2020. All right. Let's see what else we got. That was his 60-minute interview, by the way. Definitely not keeping quiet on that. God. All right. Bloomberg's back open to open the bell. Good morning, TGIF, guys. TGIF, thank God it's Friday, guys. We also have our Patreon live this evening as well. Let's go.
After the jobs number missed the futures off by 1.25%. The U.S. economy lost 92,000 jobs, including manufacturing jobs, in the month.
Let's go.
We were expecting a gain of more than 50,000. NASDAQ futures down 1.5%. The small caps down more than 2%, which is interesting because normally this kind of job loss would spook the market into thinking, oh, we're going to get more Fed rate cuts or at least pull them forward, and that should be good for the small caps. That is not the case today. We saw yields come down and then spike back up to the levels that they were. Vlad Tenev, you'll recognize ringing the bell at the New York Stock Exchange. He's got an IPO, a fund that Robinhood is launching to trade shares in privately held companies. We'll talk about that because we're going to talk to him in just a moment. At the NASDAQ, you've got Minimed ringing the opening bell. But let's take a look at the move screen first of all. As the cash trade starts to populate, and it'll take a couple minutes for everything to come online, but right now only 66 stocks are up and almost 400 are down. Microsoft, ConocoPhillips, Netflix are gaining, but Nvidia is off 1.6% and Apple is down 1.4%. Let's take a look at the GLCO screen. Global commodity prices is what many traders have up on a permanent Bloomberg screen right now because the gas price is moving so severely. NYMEX crude is trading at more than $88 a barrel. That's West Texas Intermediate.
Oh man,
folks.
guys,
Brent
this is climbing up quick.
Up over $90 a barrel. There's real concern that as this war in the Gulf reaches the end of its first week, we're not going to be able to find off-ramp quickly enough to bring these prices down. Let's bring now White House National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett on with John Farrow from Bloomberg Surveillance. John?
Hey, Matt, appreciate it, buddy. Thank you for that. Live on TV and radio, I'm pleased to say that joining us now, following the jobs report, is the National Economic Council Director, Kevin Hassett.
Kevin
you're a good man.
Hassett.
Thanks for making time for us this morning. It's an obvious downside surprise on the jobs report. The 3-month average has dropped to 6K. I think some people looking at this report at the headline level might be a bit nervous about what's inside it. Are there some one-offs here that make this look worse than maybe it is?
Yeah, there are a few. First of all, we had the crazy weather in February. The worst of it was actually outside of the survey week, but there was a lot of lingering junk, as you might recall, with the ice that was everywhere. We had some strikes on the West Coast that knocked off between 30 and 40,000 jobs. And so I think that on net, it's almost like a wash number. And the final thing is that there's a new procedure birth-death model at the BLS, which we believe is going to make the number more volatile. And so I think more and more we're going to have to average through the months. And remember, we had a really surprisingly positive number last month, and I think if you average the two, then it's about at the rate of job growth that's consistent with 3 or 4% GDP growth.
Kevin, it goes against the grain as well. ISM data earlier this week was really pretty decent. Claims were stable too. Next time we speak next month, do you expect to have a better story to tell?
Yeah, I think that right now what's going to happen, right, is that the variability in the data will be apparent to folks. And so what's going to happen, I think, is that there'll be some anxiety that another number like this or 2 or 3 numbers like this is ahead for us. But we really don't believe that because, as you and I have discussed, like every other indicator is consistent with very strong GDP growth right now. And so this really is an outlier number.
Tax refunds are a big part of the bull case for the U.S. economy.
Yeah, I don't know if we're getting those anymore.
Right
now we're hearing about some war
surging.
stimulus.
How those refunds are going to be spent is key, Kevin, with energy bills still climbing. What's your assessment of the disruption we're seeing to supply in the Middle East?
Well, our expectation is that we've got our eyes on the horizon, that we know that sometime soon we're going to have a much more stable Venezuela with high stable energy output, a much more stable Iran with high and stable energy output.
We still got to get investors who are having a meeting
not only for energy markets but for risk premia around the world. Don't forget that this move against Iran is happening because they've promised to destroy us all. Like if that's not something that affects risk premium, I don't know what is. And so I think with an eye on the horizon, then you can see that this is a huge positive for the global economy and global markets. The question is, when will the current near-term disruption end? And that's something that'll be decided by the military. And of course, will be some uncertainty about when they decide to move, in part because the uncertainty protects the lives of American soldiers.
Kevin, in the meantime,
but we expect that it'll be resolved, quite soon.
As you see, we're starting to see a hit to production. Because we can't move the oil, we're breaching storage capacity in select producers right now. You saw some of that with Iraq earlier this week. The Journal reporting moments ago, we're seeing the same thing in Kuwait, and UAE and Saudi Arabia might follow. That's obviously a bigger, more acute issue for the Asian refiners right now, which is why the Treasury Secretary came out and issued a waiver for the Indians to buy from Russia, the Russian crude that's offshore in tankers right now. But Kevin, I wonder what else the White House has got in store. Not just to tell people to wait, because in the future it will be better, but what are the remedies that you can produce right now?
Oh, sure. The sanction waiver that Secretary Bessent came out with is just one of many, many tools that we have ready. We've got a whole flow chart of tools to use depending on this or that, and we're ready to move them as soon as we have to. But we're also very optimistic that we're going to be able to get this near-term problem resolved relatively quickly.
The Biden administration, as you know, burned through the SPR, took it down quite dramatically. Is there space left in the SPR to deploy some of that, to bring down prices just a bit for consumers?
You know, there is no conversation right now to dip into that, but we've got something like 400 million barrels ready to go if needed. But there is, I re-emphasize, that there has not been a conversation to dip into that yet, because our expectation is that this effort in Iran is way ahead of schedule, and that we understand that there are near-term market fluctuations, but we have our eyes on the horizon, and we think that's where people should be looking to.
Kevin, you say ahead of schedule. Is there a schedule?
Yes, but obviously we're not going to go through the schedule on TV.
The timing of this is so important to people, though. They need to understand the duration, to understand how acute the problem will be. It feels very open-ended. It feels different to what we saw in Caracas. Tehran is not Caracas. Iran, as you know, is not Venezuela. Can you assure people this won't be something that goes on for months? This is something that will go on for weeks?
There's nobody that expects that we're going to have a disruption that is anything like what the bears right now fear.
Kevin, the president's also said there'll be naval escorts as well to help tankers get through the Strait of Hormuz. As we understand, tracking the traffic here at Bloomberg, that's grounded to an effective halt as of this morning. What can we do to help those tankers get through that strait, and how quickly
Guys, we're watching Kevin Hassett, who could have been our
this is a matter that
didn't
is being studied very closely by the military and discussed constantly. And I expect a heck of a lot of progress was made in coming up with a plan that can do exactly what the president has suggested.
There were two dimensions to the president's suggestion, one with the naval escorts, and the second piece was insurance. How long do you think it will take to put together something more comprehensive to give people the certainty that these things are insurable?
Well, I think it's really the insurance and the naval effort and the destruction of the Iranian assault capability. Those things are all on the table, and I think that the markets will move forward quickly once it's clear that the U.S. military has resolved those matters.
Kevin, there's another aspect to the price action that's making some people nervous. I'd love your thoughts on it. It's not just the disruption that we're seeing in the Middle East and the disruption to energy supply. There's also issues in private credit. Every day there is a headline about redemptions and certain firms trying to meet redemptions in different ways. We've talked a lot about financial conditions, but are financial conditions tightening in a way that we can't see in private markets? And how are you tracking things?
Oh, we're tracking it very closely. We're keeping an eye on things that are liquid, things that are illiquid, and so on. And right now we see a very well-functioning market that's under a tiny little bit of stress, but for the most part, outside of the one firm that had the significant issue, it looks like everybody's in good shape. But we're following it very closely.
Kevin, how do you track those things? Are you in touch with the big firms right now about what they're doing? Are there certain blow-ups that are making you more concerned than other things? How do you track these things?
There are behaviors that make you concerned, like when you see a radical amount of shorting of assets of firms that are starting to feel some distress and so on. And we're seeing, and that's something that we really haven't seen since the financial crisis. And
I'm so glad we're not going to have him.
And we're seeing nothing like that kind of activity.
Kevin, Lloyd Blank finds someone we both respect, said he sees echoes of what happened in the financial crisis. Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan has said some people have done some dumb things. Mark Rowan of Apollo has said something similar. Do you think people have done some dumb things that are going to come to the surface later this year?
I think people have made some bets that didn't pay off, but that's kind of what happens in financial markets, right? So whether it's dumb or not, ex post it looks dumb.
Does it pose a risk to all of us?
Excuse me?
Does it pose a risk to all of us? Is there a systemic aspect to some of this?
I believe that there's so much security in that space that they can handle the stress that we're observing right now.
Kevin Hassett, thanks for the update. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. The National Economic Council Director, Kevin Hassett there. Matt, you heard it from the man himself there.
Yeah, freaking Kevin Hassett. All right. So yeah, I guess coming from Kevin Hassett and Rick Reeder, I guess both of them on the lines of this kind of wait and see. This is all short term. First quarter is going to be bad. The rest of the year is going to be pretty much keeping up with it. But we'll see. I feel like something big's coming, man. Something big's coming. All right, let's take a look and see how the overall market's doing this morning. In fear and greed for the stock market and of course crypto. Last night we did have a bit of closer to like 20 on the crypto fear and greed index. Let's see what we got this morning. Right now the stock market's looking at damn near extreme fear. Look at this, 28 on the traditional markets. Not great, guys. This is the lowest I think we've seen on the stock market for at least a few months, like 3 months. So we haven't seen it this low. And of course, crypto fear and greed, which was just at 18 yesterday. I think we saw a high of 20 at one point. Where we at right now? Still sitting at 18 from last night. Happy to see that, but the price action doesn't really reflect that this morning. 68,900 right now on Bitcoin. Let's take a look at overall assets here in our space with the Dixie. Dixie's still chopping up here to 99.3, the highest, one of the highest we've seen in the last few days. The highest we've seen was that peak at 99.5. So I hate seeing this right now, guys. This strength in the dollar as this war rages on, but we're going to see that, of course, as more monkeys beat their chest in the midst of war. That's what we are, guys. We're just damn dirty apes. And we're going to do more peaceful takeovers. Yeah, coming soon. Shield Hoarder, Red Dragons, Hoarder. Coming in with a $2 super chat. Jake the Snake wants me to shield harder. Yes, I'll shield so much harder. So I see you so hard. I see you hard. It's so hard. You won't even know it's how hard it is. Oh my God. I'm going to go to hell. All right, here we go. Guys, if you haven't already jumped onto the Chaos Crew, where Patreon is going live, it is here every single night on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we, of course, like to hang out and do some fun things over the weekend. Tonight is no exception. Tonight we're going to be hanging out with the crew. And we have a couple of positions right now that might pop off today. If not, we're looking at maybe Sunday, Monday for those two to pop off. One of them, two of them are really cooking, man. So if you guys haven't checked us out over there, you don't know what I'm talking about, Dillion's Dimes over on the Patreon. Check it out with us. And, of course, we'll talk about more of that tonight as well. All right, guys. Again, if you need help, it's only $15 a month, guys. Less than, of course, a box of pizza in this economy. So in some places, it's less than a piece of pizza. All right. Let's move on. So yeah, looking at the stock market right now, it's still down. Let's take a look and see what the S&P 500 is opening at right now. 67.30, losing the trend line over the course of the last few days. And then again, we have not seen it break this trend since June of last year. So it's definitely looking pretty weak right now for the economy. Let's take a look what's going on with the big numbers, guys, the big things. The things that matter. DCA opportunities right now on the day, and of course on the monthly and the weekly. What are the opportunities right now for the top 100? Top 100 right now moving down about 3%. Top 200 down about the same amount as well, 3.3% on all assets in the top 300 on the board. Here we go. So yeah, we're looking at everything down. Pretty much a wet blanket right now of red, a sea of red. A lot of blood right now. The most oversold we got is Morpho and OKB with Pump.Fun and Virtuals. Those are all down about 7%. Tau, BitTensor is also down about 7% as well. It's not a bad play there as well. Let's take a look at the weekly. DCR is the most oversold right now at 19%. We're looking for 15s and 20s. We got a couple here today. Finally been waiting for some more blood. DCR and Stable. That's Decred and Stable. All right. Polygon's also down 10% on the week. If I got a runner up, of course, World Liberty Financial is also down 13%. On the monthly, we're looking for 30s and 40s. Guys, there's hardly anything remaining. There's probably nothing here at all. I don't think there's a damn thing that's over 30% off today. BitGet, again, Arbitrum, they're the closest thing we have with Trump Coin. Who the hell's still buying this damn thing?
What are you, stupid?
Trump Coin's down 25% on the month. World Liberty Financial is down 25 as well with Trump's coin. Coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences. All right, moving on. Let's take a look at the top 200 as there's no opportunities here in the top 100. Top 200 assets we got right now. Looking at it on the day, the most oversold right now is Lighter. You know, I've been hearing a lot of news about this coin. I just haven't really got into it. And I know there's some YouTubers shilling it, so it kind of makes me a little wary too, because I'm like, YouTubers shilling a microcap, And I mean, it's not totally microcap though. It's only 300. It's 300 million in market cap, but still, I don't know how I feel about that. Hex is also down 15%, oldie but a goodie from the prior cycles. VVV also down 10% on the day. All right, those are the biggest movers we had to the downside, excluding Dog with Hat. Bleh, who's still held buying these dog coins, man? All right, looking at the weekly, we're looking at least 15 and 20%. FON, that's FON Smart Chains down 15% here on the week. Lighter still down or 18% on the week, and Pippin down 40%, damn near, almost, of course. That's about the same number it was yesterday as well on the weekly. All right, so those are the only three that are oversold right now on the week. On the monthly, we're looking at 30s and 40s, and just like the top 100, there's hardly anything, if not anything here. There's a couple here, though, in the top 200. Golem's down 41%, and Optimism's down 45%. Those are the only two assets that are down 30% today on the month. Again, guys, I don't really see anything I'd really want to throw money at right now. IP's still down a decent amount, but my God, I mean, it's starting to come up a little bit now. You kind of miss those lows. It might be, of course, the bottom. We just don't know how long this is going to drag out. 36% off right now on IP on the month. Optimism 45. QRL is just barely making that 30% criteria. This is quantum resistant ledger, which I feel like almost all of our primed assets that are here to stay are going to be quantum resistant in the future anyway. So obviously they're trying to play on that trend of quantum resistant technology. All right, over it, guys. Of course, not financial advice. I just don't see anything of value here.
I'd buy that for $1.
It's not like the last few weeks, guys. Not like the last few weeks we'd be able to scoop off SWE and Solana on the 45, 50. I mean, hell, even Ethereum was down like close to 40% just last week on the monthly. All right. So again, let's get back to brass tacks. What else is Doomberg talking about? Let's take a look and see what Kramer's yapping about this morning too, over on CNBC. And remember, guys, don't pay for what you get for free. That looks like Tanev, right? That's Robinhood, isn't it?
People are getting more interested in equities. I've always felt I didn't like to skew a lot of Bitcoin. Your stock's trading with Bitcoin. Are you? What percentage are longer-term equities, IRAs? Is that growing versus, say, the people who flip things?
Yeah, we published the statistic in the last earnings. I want to say something like 40% of our assets are in passive products. So that includes retirement, cash, our cash sweep product, ETFs. So what we're seeing is, the huge chunk of our assets are basically passive, and we expect that to increase over time. Now, you did mention Bitcoin and the correlation between our stock. One thing I think the market underappreciates is how diversified this business has become. We've got 11 business lines generating $100 million a year in revenue or more, with lots more on deck. Crypto this last quarter was sub 20% of our revenue. Crypto as a whole, not just Bitcoin. So while we're a big player in crypto, we're a diversified financial business with lots of growing business lines.
Yeah, and I've got the Firefest credit card, which was the heaviest at one point. All right,
not 50 grams.
All right,
we'll have to hook you guys up if you would like.
All right, Vlad Tedov runs Robinhood. Those products are very good. I don't understand why your stock is correlated with Bitcoin. There's much more to it. Thank you for being on the show.
Pleasure, guys.
As we go to break, watch bonds today.
Well, same thing with me too. I don't know why my YouTube channel is coordinated with Bitcoin, but obviously, people come out to play when Bitcoin is having a good day. All right, let's see what else is going on. CNBC, that was, of course, Vlad Tenev, the CEO of Robinhood, just kind of having a back and forth. There wasn't really anything that said that was really important, in my opinion. All right, let's take a look and see what else we got on Doomberg. They're on break, and we're near 10 o'clock yet. Oh, only 10 minutes away. Let's get into some crypto news, shall we, on today. Let's take a look at cryptonews.net. Bitcoin price rejects at 74K as failed auction points to downside risk. can see that this morning, of course, sitting on our 68 to 69K level. CoinDesk 20 performance update. AVE drops 4.3% as index constituents trade lower. U.S. unexpectedly lost 92,000 jobs in February. Unemployment rate rose 54.4%. Everyone was expecting 52,000 jobs. We ended up getting 92, almost double. It's terrible. Breaking U.S. non-farm payrolls and unemployment data released, and Bitcoin's initial reaction, obviously, to the downside. Jack Mallers says that Strike's cleared to offer Bitcoin brokerage and payments in New York. Yes, more and more, of course, of Strike making waves in the news. Kazakhstan, central bank to invest $350 million worth of gold, Forex reserves into digital assets. Everyone, of course, getting off the dollar. Anything else happening here? It's all just kind of the same thing over and over again. Let's take a look and see what's going on with CoinDesk as well. It is early though. It is early. Okay. Get out of there. Every time I jump over here, you guys throw a video in my face. All right. No deal with Iran. Trump demands unconditional surrender. Sending oil surging. Bitcoin stocks lower. This came out 16 minutes ago. So yeah, it looks like we have a little bit of reaction from the president. I can't read this one, really? Bastards. I gotta sign in. So dumb. So dumb. Oh my God. I want to read this freaking article. Let me read it. You guys are such pests. CoinDesk, you're such pests. Really? I try to sign in. It's just I get a 404. That's cool. That's cool. So I can't sign in. All right. I'll try to find that somewhere else. God. You guys are not the only ones offering the same news. So no deal with Iran. Trump demands unconditional surrender. All right, whatever. We'll find something somewhere else. I'm done with you, CoinDesk. What a mess of a website. Bitcoin hovers near 69K to 70K as range battle intensifies. Robert Kiyosaki predicts Bitcoin blast off as global trade tensions push investors towards alternative assets. Maybe this is not the right day to talk about that, but you know what? Robert Kiyosaki did recently just sell his Bitcoin like 3 months ago, and then he bought back in. Yeah, Bitcoin could head for blast off as safe haven demand surges across markets, according to Rich Dad Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki, who pointed to gold's huge spike as a signal for Bitcoin and silver. Rich Dad Poor Dad author investor Robert Kiyosaki shared on social media platform on March 2nd, so that was about 3 or 4 days ago. It's kind of old. I didn't hear this update though. He said that gold booms to $128 in one day. The best-selling financial author followed a prediction. My God, they have to give him so much credit over and over and over again. Better news is silver and Bitcoin to blast off. Hang on. All right, that's all he said. That's all he said, literally. Stupid. They're really stretching for news right now, guys. They're really pushing it. There's nothing in there. This is a nothing article. Okay. We also got Brave Farming Freedom coming with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Brave. Thank you. Economy is at warp speed ahead. Big farm minus big farm. Is dead. What? Is dead. Medical field holding steady guy on screen was recruited from his grandma's basement. Damn. You talking about Hassett? You talking about Hassett? He's a wet blanket, man. He's a wet blanket. I'm glad we didn't get him as a Fed chair, because I would get nothing out of him. He's just like, he just kind of don't look over here. Look over here. Yeah, he's pretty good at Fed speak. Basically giving us nothing. Jake the Snake coming in with an X. As well. Let's see what we got from Jake. Anything else breaking this morning? We do see some cracks in the armor in the economy. The U.S. economy is losing jobs and oil's up 13%. Anyone remember the chess analogy? Check. check. How about mate, though? Are we near checkmate, though? Sooner than most people realize. Ooh. The .com top. Ooh. To the SP 500? Is the SP 500? Yes, it is. Oh, jeez. Well, let's hope that we don't see that happening. We don't do recessions anymore. We just print more money. Oh, God. Let's see. BitGet signals next phase of exchanges with TradFi integration. BitGet. It's all, of course, they're shilling this over here at Bitcoin.com news. BitGet. Oh my God. Seriously, what the hell? BitGet. I'm gonna have to cut this completely out of my lineup. I'm getting sick of this website now. All right, SEC moves to settle Justin Sun's Tron case with $10 million penalty. We covered that yesterday, so you guys didn't hear about that. Of course, that's ongoing right now. Bitcoin pricing stocks stabilize as bond market signals ongoing macro risk. Yeah. Looks like some other coins are popping off today. Not too many, though. Not too many. This is just nonsense articles. Nonsense. They're talking about XRP blasting off. Like, what are you talking about? You guys see the charts? Does anyone look at the charts? I'm just reading these headlines. This is ridiculous. XRP is down right now about 3.5%. $1.35 on XRP at the moment. Again, trending the same way as Bitcoin. It looks exactly like Bitcoin's chart right now with this pullback. With this pullback down to 68,400 now, just barely holding the center of our parallel channel from last week. Hopefully we can keep it up, guys. If not, we're going back down to retest 65K. 65K. All right, let's take a look and see what else is going on. I'm going to go back to TradFi real quick. Goolsby, Fed Chair President of Chicago, they got everyone on this morning.
With tariffs, and then it'll go away. But there's also been a kind of a disturbing persistence of services inflation, which I don't think you can attribute to tariffs because the tariff content of the services industry is not very high. So we'll have to see what the PCE number says. The Open Market Committee has said we watch PCE inflation. That's in our framework review. That's the best measure that we have of inflation, I think. And if it comes in hot and it's just goods, I would be more comfortable saying that looks more like a tariff-driven thing, and that's the optimist case maybe, that it would prove transitory. If it comes in hot, but it's heavily on healthcare, a bunch of service sector industries, that's a different kettle of fish, and that's a little more, feels a little more persistent.
A sentiment question, the sentiment you get not just from CEOs, but also from just talking to regular people in your district. You've got a situation where people are seeing gas prices go up and up and up, and now you have a really bad employment report at a time when people have already said they're worried about losing their jobs. Are you concerned that this could tip us into the stagflationary environment? I don't want to say recession yet, but
well, please do.
It might cause people to pull back. The last 5 to 8 years, however, there's been a breaking of the link between consumer sentiment and actual consumer spending. For some reasons we understand and some reasons we don't understand. So if you saw deterioration of consumer sentiment as, say, gas prices go up, which historically when gas prices go up, consumer sentiment goes down. If that did not translate into a slowing of consumer spending, I would be much less nervous. As I've highlighted, in 2025, the strongest thing that we have going for us was not AI data center investment. Yeah, that was great, but the main thing driving growth was a strong, stable consumer, broad-based spending, which drove growth in the country. And that still continues until it doesn't. So if sentiment deteriorated, and there's a lot of concern as I'm going around the Midwest and the Chicago Fed District, a lot of expression of concern about affordability, about costs on both the business side and the consumer side. If people begin to be nervous about their employment, historically that tends to show up as they're trying to build a little precautionary buffer, so the savings rate would start to rise. That'd be a thing to watch out for.
Let's end on a little bit of a positive note here. Productivity down from the third quarter, but still 2.8% for the fourth quarter.
None of that. Only doom. Okay, all right, I'm over it. Let's get back over to you guys in the chat. Catch up with you guys. Bitcoin holding 68,300 currently. Just at the tip of the edge of our baseline from last week. Let's take a look and see what you guys are talking about. Why is everybody in the financial sector bald? Everyone lost their hair a long time ago from all the stress. Yes, John, that's why. Too much gray hair and receding hairlines in that, line of work. They got scalped on a few too many trades, says Jake in the chat. Oh my God, yes. You guys are hilarious in the chat. As of this morning, a lot of doom is taking over the market. I'm telling you guys, if we go into a full recession, I'm out of this country. I'm done. I am done. I just over it. We're gonna get a recession like every 10 years, every 20 years. I'm out. Looks like we get some movers here. More coins are taking a plummet. Looks like some of these coins are starting to move big numbers. XCN's down 7% now on the day. We've got, what other coins are moving down? Is that 10% there? No. Nothing huge. Nothing quite that big yet, but it looks like XCN is one of the biggest movers to the downside. Right now. And they just had some good news. What was it? A day or two ago? They, of course, shot it up to about a huge move here. 24%. Nuts. All right. Anything else going on in our sector? Let's take a look. What's going on with the news right now over on Cointelegraph. Try to say something good for last. It's 10 o'clock right now, so a little bit more pain is expected to come, or a recovery short while between 10 and 10:30 as per usual. Let's take a look and see. Crypto turnaround at the Fed as Kraken scores account and Trump nominee goes to Senate. This, of course, is going off of the news that Kraken has gotten access to the Fed accounts, setting up and getting approved as a bank in the United States. They're not the first or the only ones either. Crypto.com also did the same thing. It looks like Coinbase is really trying to hold their ground and push against this, but it looks like this is the way they have to go forward in 2026 to make the banks happy, as there's probably going to be no compromise. All right, in recent events, the U.S. Federal Reserve has signaled acceptance for digital assets at the highest levels of the country's monetary system. Kraken recently became the first crypto exchange to receive a master account at the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve could also see a new crypto-friendly chair. U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday submitted a pro-Bitcoin candidate for the Senate's consideration. These developments represent a significant shift in how the Fed could treat the crypto industry, but there are still also detractors. Why are Fed master accounts so important to the crypto industry? On Wednesday, Kraken announced that Wyoming's chartered bank, Kraken Financial, had been awarded the Fed master account. This made its first digital asset bank in the United States history to gain direct access to the Federal Reserve's payment infrastructure. And this is the state to do it too. Wyoming has been pretty much at the leading edge of crypto innovation. And of course, everyone goes to Wyoming to avoid as much taxes as possible. That's how it goes. Kraken CEO Arjun Sethi said that with a Federal Reserve master account, we can operate not as only a peripheral participant in the biggest banking system, but as a direct connected financial institution. Master account represents access to the most coveted form of money for financial institutions, dollars held directly within the Federal Reserve system. Remember all those dollars sitting in the Federal Reserve right now? I think it's I think it's like 18 trillion, something like that. Yeah, some of that, of course, has access to this soon. These dollars are widely perceived as risk-free. Aaron Brogan, of Brogan Law, a firm specializing in digital assets, said that they're intrinsic architecture of the United States monetary system, which can always just make more of them. Yes, that's why I just burned another $5 bill. Because we can always print more. I can always burn more. There's no end to it, guys. There's no end to it. There's no end to it. Since the United States dollar remains preeminent global currency at the current time, the best form of USD is the best there is. Other instruments like cash, dollars, and the FDIC insured bank accounts and T-bills are pretty good, but Fed dollars are the best. The best of the paper monies, right? The base of the stuff we like to set on fire. For an exchange like Kraken, it improves reliability and efficiency for moving fiat deposits and in and out digital asset markets, according to Sethi. But not every financial institution is granted access, and certainly not the upstart disruptors of the crypto industry. At least not until now. What is the Federal Reserve's master accounts? What are they? The Federal Reserve's master accounts are split into 12 different banks. While these accounts come together for important policy decisions, each has a certain degree of autonomy. In an effort to bring the Fed system a bit closer together, Congress passed the Monetary Control Act of 1980. The law gave all depository institutions access to the Federal Reserve accounts. This was the beginning of the master account. Julie Anderson Hill, the dean of the University of Wyoming's College of Law, wrote that the Congress intended that all depository institutions would be able to use the Federal Reserve's payment systems. Legislative history. Monetary Control Act is littered with references to open access to all depository institutions. However, as the banking industry changed, the Fed began to express preferences over who got access and how much. Per Brogan, 3 tiers developed. Tier 1, federally chartered banks with deposit insurance. Tier 2, federally charged banks without deposit insurance. And Tier 3, state chartered banks. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the Federal Reserve Board thinks banks in Tier 1 should get the master account access, while Tier 3 banks are subject to heightened scrutiny, and Tier 2 somewhere in the middle, he wrote. And you can definitely see how that's worked its way into today's banking ideology. Where we are now in 2026. The crypto industry has long had a problem with finding banks willing to serve them. Those that were often state chartered banks, which already had trouble accessing the Federal Reserve System. The Fed doesn't want to be too exclusive with master accounts, according to Thomas Kingsley, director of a financial and services policy at the American Action Forum. During periods of stress, access to the central bank settlement accounts can materially affect a firm's ability to meet redemption demands. In that sense, master accounts can reduce a risk, run risk relative to structures reliant on commercial bank deposits. However, the Fed also wrote that you don't want to give out access to just any institution. Per Kingsley, if a large non-bank with a master account were to experience operational failure or disorderly unwinding, the disruption would occur closer to core financial infrastructure. So I'm surprised they picked Kraken over Coinbase right off the gate. Enter the skinny account. In October 2025, Fed Governor Christopher J. Waller proposed a new type of account that would provide access to Fed payment rails, but also control certain risks while carrying restrictions. These are limits to the account size, no interest on balances, balance caps, no daylight overdraft privileges, and not eligible for discount window borrowing. This is why what Kraken this is what Kraken got. It may be limited comparably, but it's still a major victory for the institutionalization of crypto. Pro-crypto senator Cynthia Lummis, basically, called it a watershed milestone on the history of digital assets. All right. And, of course, the banks are going to push back because they hate us. That's just how it is. I don't think we need anymore. All right. Good for them. Kraken is definitely not one of the biggest exchanges out there. I mean, it's in the top 5. It's definitely not Binance, Coinbase, or Crypto.com. Let's take a look at the overall holders of Bitcoin right now. How much Bitcoin is remaining on the balance sheets of these exchanges. Kraken sitting at number 4. Bitfinex and Binance in the lead with Coinbase. So they're definitely up there in the top 5, but I don't know. I would have thought that Coinbase would have got that bid first, but I don't know. There's been something weird about Kraken lately. There's definitely some insiders things going on there. Let's take a look at the overall amount of Bitcoin on exchanges. Look at this giant waterfall. Holy crap, guys. A brand new record on this morning. Let's go. 2.44 million people are taking Bitcoin off exchanges like crazy. New all-time low, guys. You better get some before it's all gone. And meanwhile, I've been saying this for 2 years and 3 years, and there's people that have probably never even bought a single Satoshi. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I guess we'll figure it out in the end. All right, moving on. Anything else going on with TradFi? Let's see what we got. Go back to live. Okay, they're on break right now. No, they're still talking. Let me catch up with you guys in the chat. Pack Staggin says Zama is trying to show some legs. Yes, it is, Pat. Yes, it is. I did mention that over on the Patreon. You guys are on the Patreon. You're missing out on some of those trades. Yeah, John Doe says middle class is dead. Either you're getting richer right now or drastically poorer. Yes, 100% drastically poorer. Okay, looks like they're talking about bonds right now. Bond traders boost bets on Fed cuts after a jobs report. Really? Ooh, let's take a look at Polymarket, see if that actually moved. It's been sitting at 1% for like over a month now for the next meeting, which should happen in the middle of this month. It's been pushed back to the end of months now recently, though. My God, it's not even in the top 10 anymore. Looks like it's up to 2%. Oh, we got boosted by a percent, by 1% this morning. Oh, it just went down. As soon as I clicked on it, it went down. Okay, whatever. We're probably not going to get a rate cut either way. All right. Don't forget, they still have the war on Jerome Powell. War on Iran and also the war on Jerome Powell still is a thing. Jeez. All right. No debt is great, says John Doe. No debt is great. Yeah. Yeah. As steady as it goes, says Braveheart to Tiny. No debt is key. No debt is key. Middle class is dead. Either you're getting richer now, you're drastically poor. Yes, the middle class is dead. I call them upper poor. There is no middle class. There is not a single thing. I mean, middle class now, I think you have to make like 125 grand minimum to be in the middle class. I don't know anyone in my social structure that makes anywhere near that. Maybe a few people that make close to or at 100K, but nowhere near 125. I also don't know anyone who lives in California that well either. So maybe there's someone I know. I might have one friend actually. Yes, some of you guys know. Cody, yes, Cody. He might make 100 grand or more out there in Cali, but over all of us plebs over here in the East Coast, we aren't making that kind of money. All right. Let's see what else is going on. Let's take a look, guys. I mean, I only showed about $6,000 profit this year so far. From last year. I'm not making that kind of money. All right, let's see. Anything else happening right now in Cointelegraph? Not really. Let's take a look at doom scrolling this morning. See what else is going on in crypto. Bitcoin's still chopping around in 68,000 and some change right now at the moment. I think I had some things I wanted to share this morning too. Let me see what I have here. Morgan Stanley names Mellon and Coinbase as custodians for his planned Bitcoin ETF. We talked about that yesterday. Oh yeah, Elon Musk is poking the dragon, man, literally. I hope someone makes this work. This startup idea is like it's really fundable right now. Oh my God. Yeah, we're ready for it. Of course, cloning has been a thing since the 80s. We've been able to do this for years. Maybe not to the extent of dinosaurs, bringing something that far back, but I'm sure we can do that now. All right. Let's take a look and see what else we got on some doom scrolling this morning. Ride the orange wave, coming from Simply Bitcoin. Ride the orange wave, guys. What else we got? Simply Bitcoin, a lot of that stuff's coming. We're excited to announce Leon Wankum is a 2026 Bitcoin speaker over in, of course, Bitcoin Vegas. If you guys aren't checking that out, those tickets go up every single month. Make sure you're getting your tickets in early before you get to the gate. You don't want to pay $500 or $600 at the gate to get in on Bitcoin 2026. All right, so more speakers are lining up. Just in, gold is being sold at a discount in Dubai as war makes it almost impossible to get out of the country. Yeah, buy Bitcoin, take it anywhere. Another reason why people are fleeing to Bitcoin right now. And I just showed you the amount of exchanges, guys. It's unprecedentedly the lowest we've ever seen in record history. Let's take a look. Cynthia Lummis said, props to Wyoming's truck coin swap. For being ahead of the game. Again, I just told you guys, Wyoming is like the capital right now in terms of our states. All the smart money, of course, work around Wyoming's regulatory environment. Let's see. Digital assets make payments faster and cheaper, and it's only a matter of time before they become the payment standard across industries. Of course, Cynthia Lummis shilling more of her home state's wealth and knowledge. Peter Schiff says the U.S. labor market is an absolute disaster. Oil prices are soaring, already up by 60% so far this year. Are they really up that much, though, Peter? I mean, that's recessionary. If that's true. 60%? I don't remember oil prices being like $30 a barrel. I mean, right now they're at 80 right now. I think it's the high today is 80. Let's take a look. Oil prices chart. It's not something I normally watch. Give me give me TradingView or something I'm familiar with. Let's just go. Let's just go there. Oil charts. There we go. Holy shnikes. Okay. We're up 10% right now on the day. Let's look at the monthly. We're up 12% on the monthly. How about year to date? 12% year to date. How about on the year? 12% on the year. Okay, where are you getting these numbers, Peter? On the 5 year, I guess, yeah, we're still up, the same amount, 12% on the 5 year. We're up to only 10% on the 10 year. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't feel like yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So there's 60% this year. You're making up bullshit, Peter. All right. Let's see what else we got. Crypto legislation weighs in on where the crypto market structure legislation lands and why stablecoins could be a big deal for the global dollar. It's coming Mornings with Maria talking on about crypto. We don't always hear her talk about crypto. This is kind of interesting.
JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon has warned that Coinbase must play by the same rules as a bank, or, quote, the public will pay. Your thoughts on all of this? Where are you on this rewards issue between crypto and banks?
The House passed stablecoin legislation, and we're working to get through market structure legislation in the crypto space. To move forward on market structure legislation, we find ourselves watching the Senate renegotiate stablecoin legislation. I think some ways people are overplaying their concerns in this space. This was negotiated when it passed the House and Senate and was signed into law by the president. The use case for stablecoins is yet to be fully seen, but it's very clear that there is a major opportunity here to dollarize the global south. That is absolutely essential for U.S. dollar dominance.
All right, obviously, yeah. Stablecoins need to continue. All right, what else we got? Just in, President Trump says that Cuba may fall pretty soon. Oh God, this weekend, guys, watch out. I don't know, man. Don't you think at some point our military is going to get stretched thin? I don't know. I don't know. Either that or maybe China's waiting for us to give weakness and then come on in. I don't know, guys. This is weird. Yeah, so Cuba's still on the chopping block. More peaceful takeovers coming soon. Oh, geez, guys. Huge BlackRock and state credit money market funds are now being tokenized on Hedera. Trillions in TradFi investing on chain infrastructure. Ben Workman says the cracks in private credit continue to show. Let's go. I love this. Digital credit over private credit. BlackRock's 26 billion private fund cred limits withdrawals. BlackRock falls 4% at the open. Damn, BlackRock fell 4% today. Holy crap. Starlink connects the unconnected. Really? Even underground? I don't think so. All right, whatever. We got Sebastian coming on World Donald Trump replying to his still think these numbers are cooked. February job reports is a total disaster. U.S. didn't stop hiring and actually lost 92,000 jobs in February. Unemployment has climbed to 4.4%, surpassing the 4.3% estimate. Yes, not looking great. Everything, those numbers are terrible. Of course, shouting out to the president. All right, anything else happening right now? Not really. A lot of hopium. A lot of FUD. Not seeing anything really breaking, though. JP Morgan Chase infinite money loophole. Make $100 billion of manipulating silver. Pay $1 billion fine and rinse and repeat. Same thing they've been doing for decades. Not surprised at all. They agree to pay $920 million in connection with schemes to defraud precious metals and U.S. Treasury markets. Is this a new one or an old one? That's 2020. Yeah, it's an old one. That's 2020. All right. Just in, 21 shares. U.S. launches a Polkadot ETF on T-Dot, giving investors exposure via banks and brokers. Polkadot's been quietly moving around in the dark. 4 trillion JP Morgan Bitcoin is now even more attractive than gold long term. They said that like 3 weeks ago. That's not new either. I mean, give me something new. Give me something I haven't heard of before. All right. JP Morgan's still looking at $140,000 to $200,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. I think it's 180, something like that. So yeah, they're still pretty bullish on Bitcoin. Max Kaiser says, another great episode. This is JP Morgan. You don't want them to be bullish on Bitcoin. God, this is so gross, scummy. Will the Iran war set off a recession? In a short war, oil prices might. GDP by 0.2%. Raise inflation by 0.3%. This is Max Kaiser, one of my Bitcoin Maxis friends, of course. OGs out there. Max Kaiser of El Salvador. Let's see what he's sharing today.
Wagmeyer. As soon as the bombs started falling over Tehran, American markets crashed, bonds fell, silver plunged, even gold is down. Oil, of course, jumped 10% in 2 days from $67 to $74 per barrel. Now, markets always react fast, and they can overreact. The question for the real economy is how long does the war last? This is because the main impact is oil prices, and these are driven by supply disruptions in the Middle East. About 1/5 of world oil exports pass through Iran's Strait of Hormuz. Another third are in range of Iranian missiles in the Gulf of Oman and the Red Sea. Now, the U.S. actually imports almost none of this. Just 2% of our oil comes from the Middle East, but oil prices are global. Within 3 days, ship traffic in the Strait of Hormuz ground to a, quote, total halt. Trump responded with government guarantees on ship insurance, which helped, but traffic will not fully recover until the bombs stop. Now, Trump is currently promising the war will last just 4 weeks, but the administration is also messaging it will take, quote, as long as it takes. Now, you do this to demoralize the other guy, but it means this is not a one-night stand like Venezuela or the last time Trump bombed Iran. Now, impact on the economy falls into 3 baskets: growth, jobs, and inflation. Taking each, historically, every $10 rise in oil knocks about 0.2% off economic growth. That's small for an economy that's currently growing at 3%. It lowers wage growth by maybe $200 per year. But it goes on top of expensive oil to heat your home or gas your car. So a $10 jump translates into about 25 cents a gallon of gas. Together with heating and trucking, it raises household costs another $300 a year, bumping inflation by maybe 0.33%. Oil and growth then both hit job creation. $10 might drop job creation by 10 to 15,000 per month. So it's painful, but it is not a recession. What would drive us into a recession is a long war. A recent study by Deutsche found that historic oil shocks need about a 50 to 100% ongoing jump in oil to set off a recession. That would imply oil prices of $100 to $150 that stay there. Currently, we're at around 75. But even then, oil only causes recession when you're already limping. So the 1970s are the poster child for an oil crash, but we were already in bad shape thanks to Washington dumping trillions into the welfare state in Vietnam, so-called guns and butter. In fact, the Nixon shock, when the system came apart, came before the oil embargo. In contrast, today we're growing at 3%. According to FedNow, productivity is soaring at 4.9%, which is one of the highest since the Reagan boom. So oil could knock us into the ones on growth, but even that will not set off a recession unless the Fed panics on oil prices and hikes rates, which could mow down millions of jobs. So a sex brought to you by I Trust Capital. For now, the war's biggest...
Damn. I do like that take. This is coming from, who? Peter St. Onge, PhD. He just put this out, looks like today, on the 6th, this morning. Damn. All right. So like I said, I don't see 50 or 60% sticking on gold, on oil anytime soon. Of course, liquid gold. We always talk about digital gold, and we always talk about physical gold. We never talk about liquid gold here on the channel. So definitely getting a little bit of input from some people that know more than I do on this subject. And obviously, I was getting out of high school right around the 2008 crisis too. So the last, I've studied it, but the last major recession we had, I only lived through it as a child. All right. Commentary. Donald J. Trump posts. Do you support President Trump holding the Iranian people by eliminating the Islamic mullahs, public mullahs? There in Iran? I don't even know what that's referring to. I guess this is a current skirmish going on. But yeah, when it comes to the price of oil right now, yeah, 60, 70. We're up from $60, I think, to 75s, 80. I think was it 7? I'm pretty sure it was 70 at the beginning of the year too. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I still think that in the long game, we'll be fine here in the United States because of the production that they're about ready to start ramping up in the next 2 years over in Venezuela. They're going to have that meeting this month. I think it's going to be in like 10 days from now, almost exactly 10 days from now. They're sending all their investors out there. We covered that last year. It's been on my narrative list for a while. The Venezuela investors meet. I'm sure I can find a. Damn, that was a long time ago when this happened. Back in early January, we were talking about that. Venezuela updates push Trump to invest in Venezuela. I think they're gonna have that meeting on the 15th or 16th. Oh, I can't read this. Come on, New York Times. Okay, screw you. Just trust me, bro. Trust me. That's happening right now. And I think Tiny Mouse in the chat was talking about like Brian Armstrong going over there. Why would Brian Armstrong go over to Venezuela? That's what I want to know. Tiny, why would he go over there? Brian Armstrong. Brian Armstrong, crypto is key to economic prosperity. This is from November of last year. That was way before the bombs dropped, or I guess the attack commenced. I'm not gonna find any news on this probably. I'm not sure where you heard this stuff, man. You gotta give me links when you send me like juicy stuff like that. I'm not gonna find that here. I'm not gonna find that here at all. All right, let's go back into some more doom scrolling. Let's see what TradFi's talking about and what you guys are talking about in the chat as well. Bitcoin's about ready to reclaim 69K here in about what time is it? About 5 minutes, 10 minutes, more than likely. Let's take a look at the order books and see how Bitcoin's holding up as well. How are we doing? Alrighty. Let's zoom on in and take a look at these current levels. Of course, bringing you this for free, guys, is not only myself, but also Kim, by the way, Snowland on YouTube. Don't pay for it, get it free. Of course, giving you the live book map, heat map for free. Usually you have to pay $30 or $30 a month or more to get this information. Let's go. Oh, I mean, this is as illustrated as such. You get the stuff for free too, other ways, but I like, of course, the illustrated heat map from Bookmap. Right now we have the overall inflows a little bit in the bear favor. 19 billion against 17.9 for the bulls. We're hitting a wall right now back at 68,900. Again, they're trying to defend 69K as we just lost that this morning. This is how much we have moved this morning. It's really impressive how much we destroyed. I mean, there's hardly anything left among us above than there is, of course, below. The market looks okay still. It looks okay. I would say the overall sentiment it makes sense on that 18 on Extreme Fear. We're still kind of climbing our way out of this. 65,000 is going to be the largest area of support, like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the live stream. We're probably going to come back down and retest that if we do lose any further gains from yesterday. We are setting up some shop here right around 68K. 68K is, again, the middle of the parallel channel. We've been going sideways here for quite a long time, and we can finally start to keep this as support. Again, as long as we keep this level, all right, this is what we see on our parallel channel, right? We were stuck in this parallel channel in the last month. And that's fine. All we're doing now is building another one a little bit higher, and hopefully this, this middle ground will become, of course, our previous level of resistance will become, of course, support, and that'll be our middle ground, hopefully somewhere around the 70K area, if we can reclaim it today. But it is Friday, guys. You're not going to be expecting the moon on a Friday. I would just kind of take a chill pill and wait for it all to play out. They did give us a little bit of a dip to buy this morning, so maybe some people are going to come out there and buy some more of this dip. I just showed you guys the overall amount of Bitcoin on exchanges is unprecedentedly low. A new record low today. If you guys are just joining in, new record low right now on exchanges. The lowest we've ever seen. 4.4 million. That's it. They just took off, guys. To put this in perspective, they just took off like, oh my god, was that 40,000 tokens? 40,000 tokens, I believe, in the last 24 hours. They are moving, man. They are moving. Don't forget where we came from. Where we came from. Ridiculous. All right, so that's what's going on with Bitcoin. As the price, of course, this still does not reflect the amount sitting on exchanges. The price in demand makes no sense. It makes no sense. Let me get back in the chat, see what you guys are talking about. John Doe's throwing off this stuff out here. Experience and rank, salaries increase with tenure, promotions after 7 years. Base pay can reach $164,000 a year, and top earners. What? What are you talking about? What are these jobs? Sergeants, lieutenants? And like, you're talking about the military? Are you talking about the military? I don't know. Okay. Not exactly entry level, but still crazy money for public service. Yeah, that is crazy money for public service. I didn't know they made that much money with benefits too. I know that you know, armed forces novices only get paid like minimum wage, and then of course you don't have to pay for, you know, living at the barracks, but still. Okay, JP Morgan will try to destroy crypto, says John Doe. Another baldy, point made. Another baldy, yeah. All the baldies, of course, losing their hair in this market. Yeah. Robbie Scott says you should follow Peter. He puts some really insightful content. Are you talking about Peter Schiff? Who are you talking about? Which Peter are you talking about, Robbie? John Doe says, let me try to find the link. It was on Fox News live around 7:30 a.m. Okay, yeah, you're talking about the Brian Armstrong thing on Venezuela. I'm like, I never saw anything about that. Okay, yeah, and going back to Robbie. Yeah, I know Robbie. He's definitely in the same camp I am. He just doesn't agree with me on Bitcoin, but. Yeah. Okay, you're talking about Peter Saint. Okay, I thought you were talking about Peter Schiff. We just got done, of course, talking about Peter Schiff not too long ago. Bitcoin trying to reclaim the bottom of the channel. We just got on these rails, guys. I really don't want to have to bring this all back down. We might be a little too excited, but as of right now, yeah, we're still testing the bottom of this range. Hopefully, we are having one more leg up for this month. We just got into March. We just got into March, man. We should see a little bit more of that hold steady for the war moon. Don't forget the war moon. Oh my God, I'm such an idiot, guys. All right, 69,000 holding right now on Bitcoin. We at least got it back up to there. Let's see if we can hold that a little further. We just we just hit 1032 right on the nose. So maybe this is the beginning of a little bit more buying potential. Potentially. Let's see what else I got. Let's jump back into TradFi. What are they talking about now? Wall Street rattled by weak jobs reports.
Jobs being created, the unemployment rate goes higher from here.
Yeah, well, just looking at kind of how markets are taking this, Jeffrey, I mean, they're still leaning towards maybe 2 rate cuts for the year. And, you know, seeing the data today, does that give you a sense that maybe markets are underpricing this? There perhaps is room for the Fed to do more this year.
All right. Let's take a look and see what's going on with CNBC. They just had Robinhood CEO on. We covered that a bit ago. Nope, they're on break as well. Let's go back over to the crypto headlines. Take a look at Daily Hodl. See anything over here? Not really. JP Morgan Chase says that one asset could quickly surge amid a Middle East conflict, and it's not oil or gold. Oh boy. Let's see what JP Morgan's looking at. The investment banking arm of JP Morgan Chase is predicting a significant rally for commodity amid ongoing Middle East conflict. Aluminum is another market to watch given the market in the Middle East. Major producer and exporter of the base metal in 2025, the region had a net exportable surplus of 5 million metric tons of primary aluminum, which accounted for nearly 7% of global production. All right, so it appears to be materially dislocated or snarled. So look at the aluminum, says JP Morgan. Obviously, they're already in it. All right, anything else going on? I think that's it. The rest of this is old from yesterday. All right, let's get back to more doom scrolling then, I guess. More doom scrolling. We're exhausted the news, guys. I think this might be it. This is usually the end of the stream indicator when you can go over to X and see the same thing we've already covered all day. We exhausted the news. See anything else breaking? My future children won't believe me when I tell them the White House posted this. Justice, the American way.
Wake up, Daddy Son.
Welcome home, son.
Strength and honor.
What will you do without freedom?
Mavericks inbound.
You can't conceive of what I'm capable of.
Finishing this fight.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
I am the danger.
Time to find out.
Thanks for the method. Here it comes.
Literally. We just showed another one of these troll videos from the White House yesterday where it was SpongeBob and then boom, or something like that. Yeah. Oh, ridiculous. Bulletproof your balance sheet, says Sailor an hour ago on his, of course, with the Bitcoin B. Let's see, anything else happening? Gulf nation signals a $3.6 trillion investment pullback in Iran conflict. Breaking reports from March 6, 2026 today reveal that Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Kuwait are waiting in a historic exit from U.S. and global investments. Over $2 trillion in U.S. assets and $3.6 trillion in total frameworks are at stake. Driven by the falling energy revenues, blocked shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, and the Iranian strikes on infrastructure. And move could be to reshape markets. Geopolitical analyst Dr. Fatima Al-Khalid notes that this is a strategic pivot with deep economic consequences for the West. The global financial order is on the verge of a systemic shift. Ooh. I do like hearing that. All right, obviously they got to clean up their act over there because Trump just did the tour of Middle East and shook a whole bunch of hands for a lot of deals that could start to falter if this continues. Arthur Hayes says if Brent oil green keeps ripping due to the U.S.-Iran war, the 10-year yield might spike in a volatile way, forcing a move. The high index that is a prerequisite for a money printing bailout. Still early doors, but something to watch. Of course, Arthur Hayes has been preluding for this money printing extraordinaire event for a while, and obviously Bitcoin does love when the money printer goes burr. All right, that's of course kind of the latest from Arthur Hayes as of this morning, 18 hours ago, just yesterday. Trying to step into Iran conflict, China is sending a special envoy to the Middle East to push the mediation in the conflict involving Iran. The U.S. warns that China is rapidly expanding production of advanced submarines that could threaten the U.S. from closer to home. All right. What else is breaking? U.S. has reverse engineered Iran's Shahid drone to make a $35,000 clone. Number of Bitcoin non-zero addresses hits an all-time high of 58.5 million. Damn. So number of addresses holding any amount of Bitcoin. I promise. I thought this was AI. What the hell?
Lifting up the arms of our president. We pray for your continued blessing and favor to rest upon him. We pray for wisdom from heaven to flood his heart, his mind, and Lord, you will guide him in these challenging times that we're facing today. I pray for your grace and your protection over him. I pray for your grace and protection over our troops and all of our men and women serving in our armed forces. And Father, we just pray you'll continue to give our president the strength that he needs to lead our great nation as we come back to one nation under God, indivisible.
Okay. I guess I thought this was AI, says Mario Nofal. I guess they're giving the president safety in his travels. Because he's supposed to be going to meet with President Xi by the end of this month. I don't know if that's still on the table. Okay, Samson Mouse says if you took 21 million Bitcoin divided by equally between everyone in the planet, every person would have about 259,000 Satoshis. That's about what I bought in the last 2 months. So good luck. Good luck dividing that equally through the rest of the world. And that's, of course, coming off the backs of what Michael saw yesterday. And I played a lot on that yesterday. Of course, there isn't enough Bitcoin for everyone. Yes, that was fun. That was fun yesterday. All right, guys. I think that's it. I think we're exhausting it. Bitcoin holding 69K. Still currently. Do we have the juice, though, to get a bit higher? I don't know. I'm not seeing it on the books right now. But we can at least hold this range a little bit longer. If we do lose this, we're going back and sending this back to town. And we're going to be playing where we were before. right down the middle where we bounced. I really hope this is, of course, going to bounce here and we continue the leg up for next week. I want to see a higher price, of course, for all of our risk-on assets. But guess what, guys? Risk-on assets are kind of taking the back seat. The Dixie still hanging out at 99. Hopefully, it loses 99 today too. That would be a good, yeah, a good breath of fresh air. But yeah, as of right now, it is not looking in our favor. All right, guys, that's all I got for you for today. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe on the way out. Don't forget to also hang out with us in the Patreon over on, of course, our $15 a month Patreon. You can, of course, hang out with us over there and make some money. We have 2 coins we're talking about right now that are about ready to print us some dough. I can't wait for that move up, man. It's gonna be stupid. And one of those coins actually moves up with Bitcoin going down. The other one hasn't fared very badly either with it going down as well. So yeah, we've seen a lot of assets make us a lot of money on the way down as well. All right, guys, I'll catch you later. Have a good one, and yeah, stay safe out there. Don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything stupid before the bull run. I'll catch you guys tonight. Have a good one. Later.
Fly me to the moon, let me trade among the stars. Let me see what freedom's like without money and gold bars. In other words, hold my key. Oh! In other words, let's make history. Oh! Do my wrongs and your wrongs and let me huddle forevermore and more and more and more and more. I want more. Hollywood shop in the door. In other words, I choose you. In other words, I love you.
That would be funny though if that desk did float during the middle of that prayer. You definitely would know something's up. And South Park was right. All right, guys. All right. I'll catch you guys again tonight. Have a good one. Stay safe. Be all right. Don't sell socks in hell. Yeah. What the hell, guys? Later.
Watch the cash burn, land fade. A new world rises, we've made the trade. The robots are rising, ICE taking the crown. But we're the ones that will back down.
Bet.